Good morning, everyone. Reimagine health. It's been exactly 4 years since I met Vishal on a flight from Bangalore to Mumbai. And at that point, he was already reimagining health. Between then and today, 4 years later, we stand over here with the same vision in mind. Reimagine health again. And why? Why do we need to keep on reimagining health all the time? Because we have two things which are happening in healthcare right now. We have chronic illness. We have something called healthcare, and we have something called sick care. When we reimagine health, what we want to do is focus on prevention. We live in a world today where we have fancy hospitals, we have fantastic doctors, we have great nutritionists, we have great coaches, we have personal trainers, we have fantastic medicine, we have fantastic supplements. But the question is, why are people sicker than ever before? India leads the world when it comes to the top 3 diseases: cardiovascular, diabetes, and cancer. Now, it's common sense for us to understand that with everything that I just mentioned, shouldn't we be seeing a falling number in the statistics of sickness? We've gotten really good at 3 things: increasing the life expectancy of people, but with suffering. People are living longer, but on more medication. We've gotten good at testing and diagnostics. We've reached an optimum level of genetic testing. So we're so good at telling people what's wrong with you, which gene is probably going to become cancer in your body. But we're failing when it comes to giving you a solution as to how to prevent that from happening. Or how do I ensure that we start healing rather than living a life of being constantly treated? We're not against doctors. We need doctors. We need doctors, we need allopathy, we need chemo, we need radiation. We need all of this as a crutch to help us change our lives. But if we become dependent on just treatment, we remain in a category called chronic illness. What chronic illness means is that we get sick and we need to be on medication for the rest of our lives to suppress that symptom. So no one's really getting better. We're getting better in terms of health with a medicine keeping us healthy. 4 years ago, I saw about 3 to 4 patients a day. Today, I see about 30 to 35 patients a day. That's about 1,000 a month. 4 years ago, the people who came to me were people with type 2 diabetes, weight loss problems, PCOD, hormonal issues. Today, 34 out of 35 patients are cancer. Stage 4, stage 3, stage 2, stage 0. From India alone? No, not just from India, from around the world. It's become an epidemic. Now, why are we talking about this particular disease? We can talk about cardiovascular and diabetes as well. Because the point in reimagining health is, what do we need more of? Do we need more medication? We need medication, but do we need more of it? Or do we need something entirely different, which is beyond medicine? Now, when I talk about beyond medicine, I'm not saying it is a replacement for your doctors or your allopathy or anything that you take. When I say beyond medicine, I'm talking about things like human hope. I'm talking about miracles. I'm talking about faith. I'm talking about belief. I'm talking about emotions. I'm talking about making lifestyle changes. So I have to share these statistics with you. We're constantly looking at our data of our patients that come in every day. So if I look at my data from October 2017 to October 2018, I'm talking about cancer, cardiovascular, obesity, diabetes. If I have to pull out the 4 commonalities in all of these patients, now when I say commonalities, it doesn't mean that one of them caused those diseases. These are commonalities that we identify in the data trends of these patients. Extreme acidity, constipation, sedentary lifestyles, lack of sleep, and chronic emotional stress. These are 5 commonalities that we see in most of these patients. Now, I would separate 5%. That small, very small population is caused by genetics. Like, we can't yet explain a child who is born with leukemia. We can't explain a child who's born with a tumor in her or his brain. There are very few genetically induced diseases. The entire other population is lifestyle induced. So if it takes a bad and poor lifestyle to create disease, when we reimagine health, what is it that's going to reverse or possibly make that person's health better? A change in lifestyle. So when I look at my data of these 5 commonalities, and GOQii's been running for 4 years, we have hundreds and thousands of people who have been on the platform. And Connie over here, our data analyst, pulls out data of most of our people on the GOQii platform. And they match exactly with the commonalities that we see in sick patients. Acidity, bloating, sedentary lifestyles, drop in water content, and stress. Now, we can't develop a drug for this. There is no drug for this. Yes, you can take sleeping medication to sleep better, but we all know the side effects of that. We can constantly look at nutrition, and we can say, eat more broccoli, eat more pumpkin seeds, eat more health foods. But if the problem with your weight is not food, and the problem with your weight is because you're sedentary, we don't need nutrition to fix that. We need activity to fix that. If you have an illness today, take your medication. But we have to create awareness of what is the root cause of my diabetes. Because I can go on popping medication a lifetime and having my sugar levels in check. But what's the latest research today? The side effects of diabetic medication linked to CKD, that's chronic kidney disease, and high blood pressure. Or I can get to the root cause and understand why are my sugar levels out of place and start working on the root cause of what my problem is. What fixes that? Lifestyle. If you're the kind of person who wakes up every day and you need to reach out for coffee and you need 3 to 4 coffees a day, you need caffeine to keep your energy levels high throughout the day. You don't have a problem with energy levels, you have a problem with sleep. And by fixing your sleep, you will no longer have the dependency on 4 to 5 cups of coffee, which in turn is making your body more acidic, which in turn is making your body more inflamed, and we all know that inflammation is the root cause of all diseases. Now, what do we treat? The end result, which is your inflammation, or do we go to the root cause and figure out that's why nature encourages us to sleep, because when we sleep, we have more energy the next day. When we have more energy the next day, we don't have the dependency on caffeine. Coffee is not bad. Coffee is great for you, but 3 to 4 cups. And if you need it as your source of energy to get you through the day, you know something's wrong in you. We as human beings need to run on cellular energy. Energy, which is the breakdown of food, the intake of oxygen, chemical reactions, make it into energy in the human body. But if we're running on Red Bulls and caffeine, you already know there is a problem in you. So what fixes this? When it comes to exercise, look at the amount of physiotherapy that's grown up across the country and the world. Again, root cause, why am I getting injured? Am I not training the right way? Am I overtraining? Is there less recovery? You can take physio, but what is the root cause of your injury? What's better to fix it? At the root cause level, or probably training better, training more sensibly, eating the right foods, sleeping more to help you recover from your training? Or do we just resort to physiotherapy, which we know is only a Band-Aid on the problem? Like I said, we need physiotherapy, we need medication, but we also have a choice to use lifestyle as a drug beyond medicine to start reimagining health. Because there's one thing that we should all know. There is no money in being healthy, and there is no money in being dead. All the money to be made is in being chronically ill. And look around you. Chronic illness is what keeps the dollars flowing in and out. You walk into a hospital, every nutritionist and every doctor knows the impact of white bread on diabetes. You walk into a hospital, what do diabetic patients get fed? What's their breakfast? White bread and tea. Chronic illness, you got to maintain that. When we reimagine health, we're focusing on prevention. For us, the success is, can that wait list of patients slowly start decreasing? Because people around us are understanding now through awareness that there are little inexpensive things that you and I can do every day to prevent the onset of illness. When people come to me, the first thing they boast about is how much of health insurance they have. You can have all the health insurance in the world, but you're still going to suffer. You're still going to go through all those hospital procedures and everything else. But the way our minds are constantly filled with be safe, take an insurance policy. Be safe, take these vitamins and nutrients. Be safe, have contacts with the best doctors in the world. That's all great. But what is in your control? That is out of your control once you fall sick. What is in your control is your lifestyle and the choices that you make for yourself every single day. Thank you. Karoshi. Karoshi, this is a Japanese word. Death by overwork. In 1969, the first employee of a shipping company died because of overwork. He was a young boy, 29 years old, overworking 100 hours a week. From 1969 to 1980, this continued to happen at a sector in the labor forces in Japan. In 1980, high-ranking Japanese officials, businessmen, powerful men, started dying of overwork. The word is called karoshi. The Japanese government and the medical system jumped into action and started to explore why do all these people have heart attacks, high blood pressure, and strokes. And they changed it in no time. They started looking at the working hours of people, and most people were working 80 to 90 to 100-hour work weeks. They were sleeping less. They were smoking more. They were eating at erratic timings. They were moving less. By introducing a new policy across Japan in the work culture and in the medical field, it no longer is a problem like it was 4 years ago. In fact, Japan today is the #1 country with the highest healthy life expectancy. I say healthy life expectancy is because we have life expectancy in India as well. But how many of those people are suffering? Healthy life expectancy means Japan has the rate of the lowest amount of disabilities and illness at the age of 74, 75, and 76. Bring that analogy to other countries across the West and including India. By age 50, we're getting knee replacements. By age 55, we're getting hip replacements. Almost 65% of my patients over the age of 65 have a prescription list longer than a shopping list. They're on 15 to 20 allopathic drugs at the same time. Is this living or is this suffering? Can it change? Absolutely yes. Japan made that first change. The first thing they did, they changed the way they eat. Japan eats the food that they like, but they focus on portion control. They don't overeat. Number 2, they move more. They cycle, they walk. Number 3, they practice something called flexible restraint. What is flexible restraint? They'll have a pizza, they'll have a burger, they'll have ice cream, but they will not restrain themselves. They have flexible restraint. They have a little bit of it, they get back to their healthy lifestyle. Whereas come back to India and the rest of the world, we've developed a bad relationship with food. We call ice cream bad, we call chocolate bad, we call everything bad. What happens when you eat something bad? It's going to have a bad effect on your body, as simple as that. Japan enforces lifestyle as a way of life in their children as a priority, which means it starts in their family and it is completed in their schools. So the culture of awareness and of lifestyle starts at a very young age. The Japanese eat rice. India is scared of rice. We think rice causes diabetes. We think rice makes us put on weight. Yet, traditional India grew up on rice as a staple grain. The Japanese understood to eat rice in small portions with a combination of fish, meat, and vegetables, which changes the entire composition of plain rice. When you combine vegetables with a rice, it becomes a complete protein. When you eat rice alone, it is a carbohydrate that will wreak havoc with your blood sugar levels. We've not yet spoken about medication. We have just spoken about lifestyle changes that have been made in a country with the highest healthy lifestyle expectancy. So we can keep reimagining health as what's the next latest tech app that's going to change health? What's the next drug that is going to take away cancer? Don't wait for that drug. It's never going to come. What is the next fad exercise program that's going to give men and women a six-pack and a size 0 figure? It's not going to come. What's going to change is lifestyle. Lifestyle. How do I wake up every morning? How much do I eat? What is my emotional quotient? Why emotional quotient? If I'm stressed, I'm going to make the wrong decisions about food. If I'm stressed, I'm going to skip my workout today because I'm stressed. If I'm stressed, I'm not going to sleep the right way. If I don't sleep the right way, we all know what happens from food cravings to low energy levels to low immunity. All of these things. This is what I mean by beyond medicine. And this man over here in the red, Vishal, he's been reimagining health since the last 4 years with our amazing team at GOQii. And we believe that the way forward is prevention. Yes, we got to focus on decreasing the innumerable statistics of people who are already suffering. But parallelly, how can we plug the hole? You see, sickness is just jumping out of holes all across us right now. Someone's got to plug that hole. And that is prevention. There's no pill for prevention. If you ask yourself, hey, this makes sense, how come no one's focusing on prevention? The simple bitter truth, because there is no money to be made in prevention. There is absolutely no business model that can be successful to any investor when it comes to prevention, because it's not tangible. It's not tangible. I can't make breathing more oxygen, which will improve your lung health, more tangible. I can't sell that to you. But when you introduce lifestyle, and 90% of the change in health of patients that we've had at GOQii is because of lifestyle. We've reversed type 2 diabetes. We've had cancer patients today who are in remission. If you're saying, is it only GOQii? No, it's multifactorial. They also had fantastic doctors. They also changed their lifestyles. Healing is multifactorial. Healing is not the job of one man. Healing is a multifactorial change that happens. But today we sit over here reassured with the track that we're on, that when we've seen lifestyle changing the health of patients, we know that that is the drug that we want to use beyond medicine. So from a simple idea of a band and a coaching model, the entire GOQii team and Vishal today have built an ecosystem. An ecosystem that, number one, using content, one of the most powerful tools in the world, can now educate people. Using fantastic tech and AI, we can reach out to millions of people to create awareness that our parents didn't have. Our parents' parents didn't have that kind of awareness. We have it today. How do we make it reach millions of people? Through content. We all know what to do for good health. All of us know. We should exercise, we should eat in balance, we should sleep well, and we should take care of our stress levels. But why don't people do it? Because we lack an important drug, motivation. We can read a motivational book and we'll be motivated for 2-3 days, but if we don't practice it, it's just a motivational book. So using real-life coaches, people, we can enable motivation through people. Something that tech cannot do. Your tech can give you 100 notifications on your phone every day. You're doing a good job, breathe more. Good job, breathe more. Finally, you just swipe it out of the way. You need human touch and emotion to drive certain things into human beings, because we are products of nature. We are not products of tech. Tech is great for us. It is great for us for enhancing our lives. But if we are going to become people who look at data on a gadget and let that gadget decide our health, it is completely wrong. Because your gadget on your hand cannot pick up intuition. It cannot pick up human emotion. It doesn't know whether you're feeling sad, and that's the reason why you're overdoing it on cupcakes. It can't pick that up. You need a human being to do that. And then we moved into gaming, because motivation and gaming go hand in hand. So Vishal pushed a new concept of gaming into health. Earn more points as you move up the fitness level. Then we moved into meditation, because what is the tool to overcome emotional disabilities, emotional distress? There is nothing. You can have a motivational speaker talking to you every day. Improve your relationships, improve your family, let go, accept. All of those are talks. The only person who can make a change right now in their emotional and in their stress is you. 2 simple words, acceptance and letting go. Think right now of every problem that you have in life, be it financial, be it emotional, relationship, whatever it is. If you can attach the word acceptance and letting go with any problem, your problem's still there, but it no longer affects you. Stress is not about having no stress in life. Stress is about having everything in life, but your attitude towards it and the way you respond to it is completely different. And when you meditate, when you breathe deep, you connect with yourself. There's nothing spiritual about it. It is simple common sense. We can make it spiritual, but we're keeping it simple. The more you know yourself, why do I do the things that I do? Do I not love myself enough to stop smoking? As simple as that. Ask these questions to yourself, and then you make the changes. And for that, you need to meditate, so we got meditation picked in. I use food as medicine. My coaches use food as medicine. Okay? Great, food is medicine. Now, how do we connect people with the right foods, the right supplements, the right oils, the right salts? How do we connect people with that? So we launched a GOQii store to create an ecosystem where once you're in, you can get anything and everything that you want around that. And then you have real life coaches. You have talent that has come over here to share their experiences. Because we have science in the world, and science is great, but science is also overrated. There is something beyond science. It is called wisdom, tradition, and values. And sometimes we have to go back to evolution to wonder how many of our ancestors died eating leaves that caused them to die because of poison. But because of them learning that, we today are in a safer space to know which plants are poisonous and which aren't. Science didn't do that. Human wisdom did that. So we should never, ever go on one side or the other. We should use science. It's great for us, but we should never lose the use of common sense and wisdom that has been handed down to us from generation to generation. Today, most people going through allopathic medication are also looking for home remedies to make their conditions better. Why? Why? Because it can work. Who are we to doubt that? So when you put yourself into an ecosystem, I'm going to invite Vishal Gondal on stage right now to take the reimagination of health further. It's up to every one of you in this room to reimagine health for yourself. Forget about the world. Reimagine health for yourself right now. Most of you all are young individuals. How do you plan to spend your life 10 to 15 years down the line? The things that you do today, the way you sleep today, the way you think today, what you eat today, and the way you move today is going to decide how you spend your next 10 to 15 years. You talk about Alzheimer's, you talk about dementia. You think these diseases just happen? They've been happening in the patient for the last 10 to 15 years. Deficiencies of certain key vitamins, lifestyle trends which are very poor that eventually builds up into the disease. That's bad for us, but it also gives us hope that we still have time to change. And that moment is right now. You don't have to wait to sign up on a nutrition plan. You don't have to wait for any of that. What's your next decision when it comes to the food that you eat? Have you planned to walk today? Have you planned to get 7 to 8 hours of good sleep today? Have you planned to make 10 minutes for yourself to silence your mind, quiet down your thoughts, and quiet down the emotional turmoil that you may be having in your heart and in your mind? That's inexpensive. That's free. I'm not going to charge you for that. No one can charge you for that. But believe me, the way we're moving right now, someone will find a way to put a price on all of this at some point. The same way they took foods from different countries. They took a mushroom from Japan, which was the staple food, and they made it into a superfood today. They took coconut oil from South India and they made it into a superfood. They took quinoa from Mexico, from South America, and they made it into a superfood, which means we're paying 5 times the price for something which has always existed. Common sense, awareness, and content. That is the future. So when we reimagine health, that's what we start doing right now. We need tech. We need AI, because that's how we reach. That's how we'll enable the lives of millions of people across the world. But we need a vision that remains true to us, that is in line with nature, because tech and nature can never work in opposites with one another. We've seen that. We've seen that in tsunamis. We've seen that in global warming. We've seen that in healthcare and sick care. So when we align our vision with nature and we use the best of tech, we use the best of the wisdom of different countries, and we bring it all together in an ecosystem, that's the way we reimagine health at GOQii. Vishal, over to you. Thank you.